See, I'm high, kind of focusing on some more
Us is the second movie written and directed by Jordan Peele that's raking in the big bucks at the box office right now. It's like his first movie, Get Out, in that it's not a hysterical Key and Peele movie featuring side-splitting sketch comedy and Jordan's classic Obama impersonation, but a carefully crafted and strongly directed thriller that's similar in direction and feel to Get Out, but very different in that the social commentary and allegory is taken to the back seat this time, and it lets its horror, comedy, and suspense elements ride shotgun in a film that manages to be a pretty solid marriage of all of its elements, with a twist ending that I found shocking but not exactly satisfying. The movie opens in 1986 at the Santa Cruz boardwalk with an adorable little girl playing a 10-year-old Lupita Nyong'o. It's her birthday, and her parents don't really get along so well, or are separated, or some dysfunctional crap. All we know is that her dad cares more about beating the high score in Whack-A-Mole than watching his only daughter when the mom leaves her with him to go to the bathroom. So we follow little Lupita as she wanders off toward one of the 134,000 homeless people in California, and he's holding up this sign with a Bible verse on it that the movie baits you into looking up on your smartphone in the middle of the damn theater. And then she steps down into a marvelously spooky, dark and windy night on this beach with a clouded moon beaming bright, before turning around and beholding an ominous and intriguingly lit house of mirrors called the Merlin's Forest. Well, she walks in and gets lost in the not-so-fun house after hours, and then the lights cut off while she's standing in the dead center of it. She stumbles onto what appears to be a clone of her, and then she gives the camera one hell of a wide-eyed and terrified mug for the trailer before we jump cut into the present day with our main characters. A super charismatic and fun dad built like a brick shithouse played by Winston Duke, and the two kids who are played by some pretty talented young actors, and the socially reclusive, anxiety-stricken mom who completely loses her shit whenever her kid wanders off for 2 minutes at the beach, played by the Oscar-winning leading talent Lupita Nyong'o. They're on family vacation to this picture-perfect getaway home near Santa Cruz right by the boardwalk from the intro. It's on this little lake and it kind of feels like a shout-out to Friday the 13th to me. The family meets up at the beach with Adult Swim legend Tim Heidecker and his wife, Peggy Olson from Mad Men, and their two basic-ass teenage daughters. That night, our main family is confronted by a freaky hand-holding family of 4 in red jumpsuits led by the evil Lupita. They have a grand old sit-down dinner together in the living room, and evil Lupita explains a whole bunch of crazy shit about their origins and whatever. It's really vague. This means that all 4 leads are double cast as these evil doppelgangers, and are in scenes with themselves that are surprisingly good and technically impressive. The main course of the film is the good guys fighting for survival and whooping ass together as a family, and a plethora of tense and believable horror sequences, while trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the red jumpsuit gang. I think Us is an enjoyable thriller that breathes fresh and modern air into a lot of stale horror cliches, that has a ton of beautifully done and intense sequences. I know it's the only film like this that I've ever seen to star a black family, be written and directed by a black man, and then even be led by an Oscar-winning black actress. And the best part about it is that it all feels natural and honest here, and not like some forced and weird attempt to cater to a specific audience. This thriller has a great little flair of black culture in it that makes it unique for its genre since it's like never been done before. It's enjoyably fresh for everyone that sees it. The film has a fair amount of Jordan Peele's sharp sense of humor stitched into it that gives it a very unique feel and identity all of its own. I have to say though, it might have been a little too funny though, since the audience was basically laughing its ass off both times I saw it. Evil Lupita's spooky voice is more silly than scary, inducing laughter at its goofiness upon its introduction. And the other bad guys, aside from her and that freaky little boy, steadily become less intimidating and effective as the film goes on, since we constantly see them do goofy ass shit and then watch them get outwitted and beaten easier than a gang of Scooby-Doo villains. It has a really solid thing going, but then puts all of its chips in on a half-baked twist that has just barely enough foundation to work and feel needed. It would have worked better with some more clues and build-up or something, instead of just being a giant plot dump. It's just so lazy and absurd, it ends up being kinda distracting and diminishing toward the rest of this really well put together package. But Us is a movie that intentionally delights in its madness. with its nutjob ending fully embracing it. Peele manages to get so much right from a production and directing standpoint with his group of well-cast and solid talent that it makes the messiness of the final act highly forgivable. In the end, Us is a solid, fresh, and entertaining modern horror that clearly cements Jordan Peele's filmmaking prowess to Hollywood and the world, even if all I want is for him and Keegan-Michael Key to just do Key and Peele forever. Thanks for watching.
Interested because there ain't nothing better than you, yeah, long, yeah.